हमारा देश अंतरिक्ष की दुनिया में प्रगति करता रहा है, लेकिन हमने सपना देखा है, हमारे वैज्ञानिकों ने सपना देखा है, मां भारत का कोई संतान, चाहे बेटा हो या बेटी, कोई भी हो सकता है, वे अंतरिक्ष में जाएंगे, हाथ में तिरंगा झंडा लेकर के जाएंगे।
Namaskar, welcome to Sansad TV. It is a historic day today, the 25th of June 2025. As we speak, Indian astronaut Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla is traveling through space in the Axiom-4 mission to the International Space Station. He is only the second Indian to travel to space and the first to pilot a space mission. To attain this, Group Captain Shukla would have gone through rigorous tests. A very important aspect of becoming an astronaut is the medical fitness one has to attain to be selected for a space mission. Our guest today in Samvaad is Air Vice Marshal Anupam Agarwal, who plays an important role in the whole process at IAM, that is Institute of Aerospace Medicine, located in Bengaluru. In the course of our interview, we will try and know from Air Vice Marshal Agarwal about the whole process and much more. AVM Agarwal, welcome to Sansad TV.
Thank you.
Sir, before we ask about the specifics of aerospace medicine, it is a coincidence that we are recording this program on a historic day. How important is Shubhanshu Shukla's Axiom-4 mission to India, and what does it mean to India's future space plans?
It's a very, very important mission because it will give us very deep insights into things which are otherwise difficult to determine, things which are not usually available, things which you can only get by personal experience. And so having our own astronaut on the International Space Station is very, very important. And for the future of the Gaganyaan mission, having Shubhanshu with us after having experienced this, it will be a great help.
In the context of a space mission, what role does IAM play, and how does it prepare an astronaut to go into space?
Well, the Institute of Aerospace Medicine, I mean, usually one would think that it is about medicine or it's about treating people or something like that. No, it isn't. Aerospace medicine is a very niche specialty. It's very different. So, it does everything for the human in the human space flight as the engineer would do for the spacecraft. So, you start with developing whom to select, whether it's the psychological thing, whether it is the physiological thing. Okay. Then you talk about, or you bring in how to select. Then you bring in the selection process itself. So you get the people in and you select them. You look after the designing of the capsule, you look after the designing of the environment around the astronaut, you look after how these things will be done so that they are not toxic to the human being. Okay. You look after the various forces that the person will undergo, you look after the various accelerations, the vibrations and so on and so forth. And all of that is determined as far as the human is concerned by the Institute of Aerospace Medicine as far as India is concerned.
How important is a human being in a machine to space, because we add a human into that machine, that becomes doubly challenging in that sense?
Oh, it is very, very challenging. To give you an example, the number of spacefaring nations are many, but the number of nations who've sent people from their own soil are only 3.
Okay.
It is the US, it is the Russia, and it's China. Or rather, it should be Russia, US, and China in that order. And there are many very, very influential, very, very powerful nations who have tried this in the past and have abandoned the idea. So, it's very, very difficult. It is very challenging that India has embarked upon this mission, and I am sure that with the kind of dedication and hard work that has been put in by everybody, the academia, the ISRO of course, the Institute of Aerospace Medicine, the private industry and all of us, we will be able to do it in the near future.
But sir, it has taken India almost 41 years because as we remember, Rakesh Sharma's mission was in 1984 and now it's 2025. It took India almost 41 years to send another astronaut into space.
Yes, and the second astronaut has also gone from foreign soil. Our dream is to send an Indian from Indian soil.
Okay.
And that was a program with the Prime Minister announced on the 15th of August 2018. We have been working towards that since then. It does take time, but it will happen.
Okay, sir. The astronauts for the Gaganyaan mission that India plans are already selected. Apart
right.
from Group Captain Shukla, there are 3 others who are
Yes.
training. So, I want to know about IIM's involvement in the process of selection of an astronaut.
Well, like I said in answer to your first question, the first thing was whom to select.
Okay.
So we got some literature on the physical things that you would like a person to be when to consider the person fit. Then we started looking at the psychological things.
You would have started with select a team of say around 20 or 30 and then all of them would have been pilots in that
Yes.
sense. Then what does say Group Captain Shukla has in him or the other 3 have in them to be selected in the select few or 3 or 4 people?
Well, Shuks as we call him. So Shuks, because he is the man of the day, let's talk about Shuks. He is an incredibly intelligent person. You speak to him for 5 minutes, you will realize how intelligent he is. And when you have intelligent people, normally they would be sort of conceited or something. He is so humble, so nice to talk to. Never ever would you feel that he thinks that he is on top of the world, but he is. He's got a tremendous sense of humor. He would look at anything and he would find even a difficult situation and he'll find a funny side to it. So that's what sets Shuks apart.
And so how different is the medical preparation for a space mission compared to a fighter pilot's readiness assessment?
How do I answer that? It's very, very different. There are 161 air forces in the world. There are 3 countries who are sending people to space.
Only 3, yes.
So that answers your question. How difficult is it or how different it is? It is completely different. It is very, very tough. So, like I said, one you're selecting not for today, not for the next 6 months, not for the next 1 year, but for the next 20 years. Then once you've selected this person, you're sort of trying to figure out that, okay, if I have selected this, is this fine? Because no literature exists. No literature exists because nobody tells you what they used to choose a person. And even I mean, we are new, how do you put it, to use an English expression, new kids on the block.
In the terms of space maneuvers and all.
But people who have been deeply involved with it, let's say the US and Russia, they too do not share amongst themselves as to what is it that they use to choose people. And they have been going to the same ISS together. Or even the European Space Agency, even the Chinese, nobody shares this. So when you start selecting your astronaut, you have to start
basically, sir, you are saying we will have to do the hard yards ourselves before we are able to think on the terms of sending a space mission with Indians from Indian soil as we are planning for Gaganyaan.
In an Indian vehicle.
How important is the aspect that, okay, Rakesh Sharma had gone there in 1984, but he did not go to the International Space Station. Shubhanshu Shukla is going to the International Space Station. India plans a mission in some time, Gaganyaan, and then we are also planning for Bharat
Bharatiya Antariksh Station. Yes.
Antariksh Station. How important is going to be Shubhanshu's experience as a pilot for this mission XEM4 in our designs to send our mission?
It would be very, very important. I mean, even when we were selecting Shubhanshu and others, we did go to Rakesh Sharma then. He's been very actively involved with the entire thing. We did take as much as we could from him. He didn't go to the International Space Station, but he went to the Russian space station of that day, the Salyut.
Yes.
And he had rich experience from there. So we did go to him. We did sort of try and get as much out of as much knowledge as was possible out of him to be able to channel this entire program. And it was extremely helpful. So I am very sure that Shubhanshu, when he comes with his very fresh, very new, very practical knowledge with the modern systems, that would help us a lot.
Was there anything unique or challenging about preparing an Indian astronaut for ISS?
Everything is unique and challenging, like I said.
Because we are doing basically for the first time, most of the things.
Yes. So, okay, I'm very nervous because I'm being interviewed for the first time for Sansad TV.
Yes.
And for you, it's an everyday affair, so you're not nervous. Now, imagine if I were to sort of fumble, and for every such fumble I'd put my life at danger or put all of our lives at danger. That would be a tough thing. Now, when you're sending a person to space, it is many, many times this as far as newness is concerned. It is many, many times this as far as danger is concerned. Many, many times this as far as nervousness is concerned. So it is a very, very difficult thing. And you are trying to imagine something which you've never seen.
Yes.
You're trying to imagine something which you've never experienced.
Because as you said that the Russians and the United States or the Chinese for that matter won't be sharing those things to you.
They aren't shared. Nobody shares it. I mean, across the world it's never been shared. Okay. So you're trying to just imagine what it is going to be like, and you're using all the knowledge that you've gained over the past 30-35 years to try and channelize that knowledge into this one mission.
Okay. So taking a cue from that, sir, here comes the role of simulation, and again the role of your institute in that. How many types of simulation exercises did Shubhanshu Shukla or his co-Gagan Yatris in the future would be going through before they are, and when does it end, or so for that matter, when before the mission, actual date of the mission, till what time do they go through that process?
Well, some kind of a simulation will carry on right till the last day. Okay. But there are different types of simulators. So at the Institute of Aerospace Medicine, you can basically simulate almost anything that can be offered by any sort of environment. So you can simulate different temperatures from, let's say, -50 to +50. You can simulate different radiation levels. You can simulate different acceleration levels, different pressure levels. You can, not really the pressures of space, but you can have very, very low pressures which you can simulate. So all of that can be simulated. Then as things move forward, you would simulate the very capsule in which the person would be going. So if the Gaganyaan capsule, he would know every bit of the Gaganyaan capsule with his eyes closed. He'll know that if I touch here, I will touch this. If I touch here, I will touch this. If I touch here, I will touch this. He doesn't have to look. So that simulation will carry on. The simulation for lowered oxygens will carry on. The simulation for fire drills will carry on. So all of it will just continuously be on. Of course, about a month before the person goes into a mission, he would go into quarantine. So some things cannot be brought in there, and some things can be brought in there. So some of that would be there.
Once an astronaut is in orbit, what role does aerospace medicine team play? Are you monitoring vitals in the real time? What's your role in that?
Vitals in the real time are not monitored except if a person is not feeling well. I mean, you'd understand an astronaut wouldn't like to be wired up all the time to get his vitals measured. But the astronaut from space speaks to only two people. He speaks either to the capsule communicator or the Capcom, or he speaks to his doctor. Nobody else. If I was to roughly separate the two, so everything that involves the mission, he speaks to the Capcom. Everything that is personal, he speaks to the doctor. So there is something called space motion sickness or space adaptation syndrome, which is a wider term covering space motion sickness. That happens to what 70% of people who go to space.
Okay.
And it's because of the difference in between the Earth and space that happens. And the doctor, each astronaut has his own flight surgeon who trains with him, who grows with him, who does everything with him. So right now for Shuks, it is an American flight surgeon, but an Indian flight surgeon is also there in attendance. With him, he shares everything. So if he's feeling unwell, he will talk to him. Even if he's feeling well, he'll still talk to him. He is his one point of contact on Earth.
In '84, we did not have a space program to follow Rakesh Sharma's mission, but we now have. Let us hope this XM4 mission is successful in everything. How it's going to be inspirational to the future pilots and would-be astronauts?
I haven't been to Lucknow recently, but I'm told entire Lucknow is plastered with photographs of Shuks, and there are programs going on at his school. I'm sure the same kind of programs would happen in other schools and other places. So Shuks says he was born in 1985. Since he grew up, if he had one idol, it was Rakesh Sharma, and he has grown up thinking, looking, talking about Rakesh Sharma. I am sure that there would be a million people or more who would be born, let's say tomorrow, who would grow up thinking of Subhanshu Shukla and would aspire to become like Subhanshu Shukla. So it's going to be a great inspiration for children, for budding pilots, for budding astronauts, everybody.
Some of the experiments we can conduct only in space. And as far as space medicine is concerned, how important would Shukla's role be in the coming years in that aspect of the thing?
It would be very important. We've sent a few experiments on the Axiom 4 mission. There are other experiments which have been brought in by other countries which he's looking after, and he will get back a wealth of knowledge from there. So everything that we understand about space today is a wealth of knowledge which has been brought back by one astronaut after another, for the 650 plus astronauts who've been to space. Each one of them has got back a little piece of this large jigsaw puzzle, which keep fitting together, and we learn more and more about space.
Anything that we have not covered yet about IM's role into space and medicine?
I don't think people know about the institute. Very recently, the Raksha Mantri had gone to IM, and I will quote his words. He said, मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि मैं पहला रक्षा मंत्री हूँ जो यहाँ पे आया हूँ. मुझे इस बात का दुख है कि मैं पहला रक्षा मंत्री हूँ जो यहाँ पे आया हूँ, क्योंकि जो what IM is something that people don't know, and this is what the Raksha Mantri said, that we would like people to know that there is a facility like this which exists in this country.
Very aptly said. Sir, time permits us only this much. So thanks a lot for taking time out for this interview.
Thanks for having me here.
Yes, and hope our viewers would have gained something of value from this interview, and in this episode of Samvaad, hope you all would have gained something that you can learn from. Thanks for watching.
watch more programs of Sansad TV, subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to like and share them.